RJ from the Fourth Age actually just released a video last night about not being tired about talking about the culture war. And on the one hand, I am tired about talking about the culture war. Like, like I've grown to be very, again, I don't want to say apathetic, but I've grown to just not care about what's going on with Star Wars, even though I love Star Wars very much. And even with something like the Foundation show, which I'm going to be talking about with Isaac Asimov, I love science fiction, and I especially love the Foundation trilogy. I really have enjoyed this old classic science fiction, going back to the classics, going back to what's been written in the pulp culture. That is, 50s, 60s, 70s, those decades of good classic science fiction. So on the one hand, I really want to uphold that. But going back to what RJ from the Fourth Age was saying, is like, we really shouldn't tire about talking about the culture war, because it's going to continue until it's won. And a lot of people will kind of just like poo-poo that argument and say, there's no such thing. They'll either say there's no such thing as the culture war, or you're taking it too seriously. And if me just talking about what good art is and what good classic literature is, like with my love of science fiction, for instance, some people have a love of film. Some people have a love of, old, 70s, 80s comics, the graphic novels, the American graphic novels. Everyone has a love for something involving what we call now pop culture. And it's coming to the point with me where I don't want to be talking about this. I don't want to be talking about Hollywood. And I'm talking about it less and less. Now that, Disney has made it clear what they want to do with Star Wars, it's like, well, you know what? You've made it clear. I know it sounds controversial. I know people would say this is a black pill. It's not a black pill. I promise you it's not. In fact, it's just necessary, really. Star Wars, the franchise as it is, needs to die, because it's not Star Wars. It's a parody, or it's a lobotomized form of Star Wars, but it's not Star Wars anymore. It might look like Star Wars. It might even have the feel of Star Wars, but it's not what it was, what made it Star Wars to begin with. And so Professor Geek and I, we're just, we he will be talking about the EU on his channel more and more. But at the point where people are asking me, even I have relatives, my closest relative right now, she does not like what's happening with the Ahsoka show. She hates it. And I'm like, she's like, I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm like, I'm not watching it. I don't care anymore. If Disney stopped producing Star Wars, that's going to be awesome. And then when Disney stops producing Star Wars and stops producing Marvel, then maybe we've won the culture war. But until then, we have to keep putting it out there. As RJ says, we just have to keep putting it out there that we need to uphold what was good, what was true, and what was beautiful. And we shouldn't ever tire of that. Now, that all said, I won't be dedicating my channel exclusively to this popular culture topic. I really do want to be finished with it, so to speak. And if my rants continue, then they'll continue, however organically or naturally. But it's something that it's going to be maybe like I don't want to say afterthought. That's not the right word to use it, but it's just, it will happen when it happens, like today. And then I'll talk about more science fiction and music and all that good stuff. But anyway, the culture war will have to be talked about until the war is won. RJ made a really good point where he said the ideologues, what they want you to do is feel helpless and alone, and they want you to believe what you think is untrue, and it's only you who's thinking that. And with my channel, especially with I know I'm trying to home in on music specifically, but as an artist, it's really important to uphold what is good art. I think with people who are against the ideology, of course, that has just run rampant in the last 10 to 15 years, especially. Yeah, we can grow tired of it. We can say, oh, this again. And to that point, I want to make, yes, really focus on the good, but don't ever lose sight of the damage they're doing. It's super important. And as I've said before, time and time again, this has been well established. This ideology has been well established in the arts since before World War I, and it really took off after that war. It's not 10 years old, it's 100 years old, and we have to be mindful of that.